All right. So, welcome to the stream, everybody. And I've personally never seen this before. You guys can tell me if this is a natural practice of 2K, but we already got our moments of the week, and because Shea made history yesterday. I think the youngest to ever get a 2020 triple double, maybe since Shaq or something like that. He got a brand new card, and so he has a pink diamond card. I mean, Shea's a great player. He's a 6'6" point guard. He can play point guard with this card, and let's see what they did. Let's see what they did to him. See if he's worth it. Now, I heard some people were fairly underwhelmed by his animations, so we'll see if this is a W in terms of making your team. I mean, I think he's a good card, but any point guard without range extender, it really does depend on what their animations are. But I mean, this is clearly a W though. This is clearly a W. So let's see what's going on here with Shea. Um, lot of Hall of Fame badges. He's got 14 Hall of Fame badges, and they include catch and shoot, which is huge. Acrobat, solid. Teardropper, solid. Hall of Fame floor general, a badge I love a lot. This badge can be the difference between those 75, 76 rated ball handlers being able to speed boost or not. Hall of Fame Dimer, huge badge. Slithery Fancy. So this guy is a really good finisher with the difficult layups. He's got gold clamps, not Hall of Fame clamps. But he's 6'6", which makes a difference. Gold tight handles, green machine, quick draw, no range extender. I'm going to say generally the card is a W. He's most likely a card I wouldn't put on my team. I don't know what's really justifying his pink diamond status here. I mean, I guess it's just, but the badges, to my knowledge, don't count towards the overall. This is globally throughout 2K. Like you can put any old badges on a 85 overall. It doesn't change the overall. The overall is a calculation of your attributes, not your badges. The badges don't have a numerical value attached that would contribute to the overall. So what is, maybe you guys can tell me, or we can look at it, we can compare it directly. We'll do that. I'll look at his diamond card, who I'm sure is on the auction market, and compare it directly. But I don't really know what's different about this card. Maybe it's the rebounding, because he got all those rebounds. Did they juice his rebounds? Yeah, it's got to be the rebounding. Because I would imagine he did not have a 96 defensive rebound before, and an 86 offensive rebound. So, I mean, this is a card you can run at the two guard spot because he's so tall. He's a good card. I do think there are good cards without range extender. I don't think range extender is absolutely 100% necessary for every single card in your team. I think you need roughly 3 range extender cards on your squad to have the proper spacing available. So it doesn't matter who those 3 are. You preferably have it on, at least 2 of your ball handlers. I think as long as you have it on 2 of your ball handlers, you're fine. So do I personally want this card? Sure, why not? I'm happy with my guard rotation right now. What's up, Sir Jam? Can you announce which guards? Okay, so Sir Jam's asking, can I announce which guards are meta for each position real quick? We will absolutely do that. So I would say the Shea card is a general W. I don't think he's worth the pink diamond status because he's just the diamond card with rebounding and a few Hall of Fame badges. I don't think that's gonna make him, a major thing. T-Rox is asking, can we 1v1? Nah, man, I'm working towards my Hakeem. I need to get this last 50k MT so I can get this. Which cards are meta for each position? Sure. I think that, well, first of all, the general meta is clamps, range extender, 86 ball control, intimidator, quick first step. These are that's the general meta, right? So then you're talking about which cards fit into that the best. I think we're at a point in the game where a lot of cards fit into that discussion, but there are a few cases where there's like a clear number 1. So the number 1 overall card in the game is still Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's the best card. He's arguably the best defender. I would say he is the best defender. He can defend all 5 positions, like no joke. This is the number 1 card to take in the triple threat online. He has a very, very makeable shot. He has the cheesiest hop step dunk in the game. He can play out of the post. He can hit the mid range. He can speed boost. The card is like literally just a god. So he's a demigod card. So he's the best. There's no card, and there's no, and to make it even more so, there's no other cards that do his job as well as he does. So I think he is the only meta card at the power forward spot that you run the offense through. Every other card in the power forward spot that's meta is a role player card. So I think Kenya Martin fits into that. I think Pascal Siakam fits into that. I think Jaren Jackson fits into that. Chris Bosh fits into that. You can run any of those cards. Larry Bird fits into that. You can probably run the offense through Larry Bird as well. It's not going to be as good as Giannis because Giannis requires an entire game plan for you to counter him. You can't just, like, if somebody's using the Giannis card appropriately, you can't just, guard that Giannis card the same way you guard every other card in the game. So that's the number one most important part. Finesse Kid said he's an okay card. I imagine you're talking about SHAI Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah, he's okay. He's okay. He's definitely. I don't think he's a meta card. You can put him on your meta team as like a third guard, but if you're running him at the first guard, you're going to be outclassed by Derrick Rose and Gilbert Arenas. I actually still think he's outclassed by Jason Terry and Kyle Lowry, for that matter, to be totally honest with you. He said, "What's up with the dribble vid I'm gonna do?" Yeah, I'll do the dribble vid for you guys. It's not. In fact, when I do the Jim Jackson vid, we'll go over some dribbles. Because I think this Jim Jackson card, you'll see he's in my lineup. Offensively, he's a monster right now, and he becomes a really good defensive card too. I'm gonna sell my Jamal Wilkes because of how much I like Jim Jackson. And Jamal will help me get to Hakeem. So at the center spot, there's a lot of cards that you can run that are meta because they all still have pluses and minuses. There's still no like perfect card. The closest is probably Hakeem. Hakeem has a post-up game. He can hit the wide open shot. But he's only 7 feet tall, and he's kind of a small 7 feet. He's not the biggest player model in the world. And he's also not, he doesn't have range extender either, right? So, you can run Jokic at the center and have him be meta. What's up, Anthony Diaz? You can run Jokic at this position and have him be meta, but you're giving up defense. You can run Kareem, but you're giving up the three-point shot. Kareem is super duper fast. He's probably the best one-on-one scorer card in the game because if somebody's nice enough with Kareem, you just got to eat it. You can't do anything about his like skyhook. Like you have to run a center that's taller than him, and then they're going to be slower than him. So he's meta. Yao Ming is meta. Bill Russell is meta. Bill Russell fits into this archetype, this DeAndre Jordan archetype, where he's super good on defense, but he can also hit the wide open shot. DeAndre Ayton is a shot maker with a great shot block. So I think there's a lot of Joel Embiid. So there's a lot of centers you can run because they haven't come out with the perfect center yet. They haven't come out with the true cheeseball center, who I think is probably going to be Porzingis. When Porzingis gets a moments card and he's good on offense and defense and he's fast, he might be the number one center in the game that like basically never gets dethroned because he's gonna shoot the three. He's going to be fast. He's going to have the shot blocking. It's going to be basically perfect. At this small forward spot, I still think the number one spot is Lamar Odom. I think he's overall like the best. And then behind him, you've got like your Hedo Turkoglu's, your Paul George, and stuff like that. But I really think it's Lamar Odom. I think Lamar Odom, similar to Kareem, he's a card that if the other person really knows what they're doing, you can't stop the card. Because he has goal limitless range, a really fast release. He's 6'10". Taller cards are hard to contest because you have to get closer to them. So if somebody's, dribbling between their legs, momentum, step back on you, and you go up on them, he's 6'10", so when he goes past you, you have to help or he's going to get a dunk. And if you don't help, he can hit moving shots. Like, he's just ridiculous. Great animations, really fast for his size. Just a stellar card. Again, Hedo fits into that same archetype. And then behind those cards, you're talking about the two guards who play that spot. So Paul George, he can run the one or the two. Jason Tatum, who's really like, he's not technically a two guard, like he can't play the two, but he can't play the four either. So Jason Tatum can only play that spot. So then you start talking about those guys. I don't put Richard Jefferson in that spot because he's smaller than everybody. So I'm not saying RJ's a bad card. I'm saying with RJ, you run him at the 3, you run Paul George at the 2, and then you flip him, and then RJ's like a meta 2 guard. At the two guard position, I think it's really T-Mac, Kobe, Paul George, and Jimmy Butler still. Everybody else, I think, is a slight notch behind them, either because they have worse animations or they're smaller. You know, so it's not that those cards are bad; they're also meta. But the elite cards, like the cards that I think the other person's not outclassing you. So right now, there's literally Elijah is asking for the price. SHAI is right now only on bid for 30K because almost no one has pulled him out of packs yet. So we have to wait till he's like really out of packs for the market to determine what he is. But if he goes to like 100K, he's definitely overpriced because these 20 and 30K cards are better than SHAI Gilgeous-Alexander. Like Jason Terry shoots from half court regularly. Like that's a regular shot for him. Russell has better animations going to the basket than SHAI Gilgeous-Alexander. Kyle Lowry is a much better shooter. And then obviously you have Derrick Rose and Gilbert Arenas and Baron Davis at the very top of the meta. Which brings us to the point guard. That's pretty much the point guard discussion. You're playing two different styles. Three technically. You've got Ben Simmons, which he's the only Ben Simmons right now. So Ben Simmons is at the top of the meta for that particular play style. And then Vince is like 90 something K. Vince is coming down in price. But yeah, for the rest of the point guards, you've got this style, which is your 3-and-D cards. They can shoot, they can dribble, but they're shorter and they can't dunk. So that's Jason Terry, Kyle Lowry, and John Stockton. I think you can't go wrong with either of those cards. And that's why the SHAI card is not really in yet, because the SHAI card isn't an elite slasher like Ben Simmons or even Westbrook, who is an elite slasher, even though he's smaller. He doesn't do everything like Derrick Rose and Baron Davis. And Rondo, Ease Levant said that Rondo's in that group. I forgot to mention Rondo. He's definitely in that group of fast. They're fast. They can shoot from limitless range. They play really great defense, and they have great ball handles. There's 4 of those cards now: Terry, Kyle Lowry, and as he said, Rondo. So if you're running that style, those cards are all meta. And if you're running the slashing style, Ben Simmons is at the top of it, but I think you can also use Russell because of his dunking. And honestly, I personally would take Russell over SHAI because I don't think SHAI's 6 inches in height make up for the fact that Russell has elite layup and dunk animations. Again, to remind everybody, Russell's layup and dunk animations are what we use in the park. Like, he has become the #1 dunk package for the two-way slashing playmaker. So he's basically the elite park build in MyTeam. Do I have Twitter to rate your lineup? I do. At MeBroShow on Twitter. Go to @MeBroShow. Send me your lineup. I'd be happy to rate your lineup. T-Rods is asking if his is a good lineup. PD, Stockton, Vinsanity, Giannis, Josh Smith, and Wilt. I love that lineup except for the fact that I would trade out Wilt for a card that shoots better, because with Josh Smith and Giannis, you want to be able to vacate that paint and make people pay for packing the paint on you. So if you have an Ayton or even an Embiid, Chris Bosh, Olajuwon, those cards are going to hit that 3-ball at a really, really high rate. Yeah, man, I'd be happy to rate your lineup. You can put it in the chat, or you can send it to me on Twitter. I'd be happy to cover you guys' lineups. If you guys want me to rate lineups, I'd be more than happy to do that. So and also at the power forward spot, again, Kenny Martin, Marcus Morris. I think Marcus Morris is a meta. He's a sleeper, man, because he's super cheap. So I don't know why people aren't like on this card, but he's literally an elite shooter. He can switch on the pick and roll and guard guards, and he's got range extender. He's got clamps. His 3 balls are 93. His 60 ball handle is actually not even terrible. His perimeter defense is at 85, which is really high for a 4, and he's at 84 speed, which is really high for a 4. 88 lateral quickness. This card is a legit 3/4. My name on Twitter is @MeBroShow, @MeBroShow, ATMEBROSHOW. That's the handle. Yes, you guys can send those lineups there. And if you guys want me to do that in these videos, I'd be happy to come on and stream that and talk to you guys about your separate lineups. Send me a JPEG. It'll make it easier to do from that standpoint. Or I could just talk to you here about it. So yeah, so that's the pink diamond SHAI Gilgeous-Alexander. Let's look for him again in the market. Let's see what he's looking like. Okay, so he's going up now. He's up for really high bid. He's not up for buyout yet. Yeah, people are. The one thing I say that's really good about this card is if you get this card, go ahead and throw him up for sure. Like I think if you're trying to build your best team, there's no way you're going to use this card because there's just so many cards that are better. So yeah, he's going for right now. He's already looking like he's skyrocketing towards 200K easy. People are really excited about it. I would say sell, 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 and get yourself a a real meta card. Like if you're spending a lot of MT, then Derrick Rose and Ben Simmons are still going to be better than this card. Uh, and if you're going more of a 3 and D direction, all the 3 and D cards are pretty cheap, which is funny to me because they're really 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 good. Like Jason Terry is out of this world. All right, so since y'all are all here in the chat, I got a quick question, chat. I need y'all advice. So off of the wheel, I got this shoe. Alright? I got this shoe off the wheel. This is the perfect Giannis shoe because it makes him cheesier on offense and defense. Should I sell this shoe or should I put this on Giannis? Because I need the 50K so I can get Hakeem. Sell? Anthony Diaz says sell. Because I can get another one of these at some point down the line. Sell it? Sell it? Alright, I'm going to sell it. Send to my auctions. Because this is almost like a free 45K right here. Alright, I'm going to put it up for 45. What do you guys think? 45 is good enough? Roger with him says my team is trash. I just gutted my team. I sold a bunch of parts so I could get Hakeem, man. So right now my team is incomplete because I'm pushing for Hakeem. So I don't have a bunch of the cards that I would normally have. Yeah, I price checked it. It's around 45. You know what? I'm gonna check it again. Let me see. Let's just double check. So a lot of them are at 49. There are people trying to get rid of it for more, but I want to get it. I'd rather just get the MT. Like I don't care about nickel and diamond this shoe to get an extra 10K MT out of it. I just want that 45. Yeah, it's the 46 is what I saw before. Alright, well if y'all want this shoe for y'all Giannis card, I'm about to throw this up for, so somebody has it for 43. I'm going to throw it up for 43K because that basically puts me right where I need to be to get this Hakeem card. Because I'm going to sell Jamal Wilkes too. Because I'm going to buy a new Jim Jackson and Evo that. I'm going to sell this Jim Jackson. And he's going to do what Jamal Wilkes does. But he's going to do it better because he's a better offensive player. That Jim Jackson card is fire. Like he doesn't have range extender, but everything besides that. What badges does SHAI have? He doesn't have range extender. Cooperation. So he's a good card. Don't get me wrong, like he's good, but he's still behind the best point guards in the game. He is a second tier point guard because he doesn't excel at any particular style. He's not an elite slasher, and he's not an elite shooter. And the elite cards are one of the two things. Like all of them play defense great. If they give SHAI clamps, he will be better than Ben. I don't think so because Ben literally dunks on like everybody. Like Ben is a specialty card, and Ben is somewhat of a liability on offense. Don't get me wrong, in terms of like the shooting and stuff. But when you play Ben, you're playing him to be cheesy with Ben Simmons. Like that's what you're trying to do. You're not playing a balanced style of gameplay, and that's why I personally don't like the Ben card and go for the Ben card, because the Ben card requires its own special little game plan. So I don't like cards that force me into doing that. The thing about Giannis is Giannis you are better if you play a Giannis game plan, but you don't have to do that. Like, Giannis can also play the same game plan as Kenyon Martin and Pascal Siakam and also do that job better than they do it. The thing about the SHAI card is he's not so tall that he can't be clamped up by, you know, the Kyle Lowrys and the Gary Paytons and the Pink Diamond Drew Holidays of the world. Like, he's not just going to run those cards over the way Ben Simmons is. So his advantage going to the basket isn't a guarantee. Any advice for guarding a D Rose or Gilbert Arenas 5-out offense? Good luck. Take away the 3 ball. Just take away the 3 at all costs. You know, take away the 3 and try to bait them. Yeah, get the ball out of their hands. Play those passing lanes. That's what you want to do. So yeah, so you know, just for review, guys, the SHAI card is on the market. He is way overpriced, which is good news if you pull that card. But in my estimation, he is not. He does leave in 2 days, so he's a very, very limited time card. He's on a shorter timeline than everybody else. But yeah, in my estimation, he is not a card that I would keep because that, you know, I think he's going for like 200k MT right now. That is definitely MT I would rather have in my account getting truly great cards than this very good card. He's 200k MT right now on the market. I don't think anybody has him for buyout. Let me just check. Because if they do, I would definitely snipe the card for sure. But yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be dumb enough to put him up for buyout because he's just too rare. But let's look at his diamond card real quick, just for direct comparison. So first, the badges. He has a lot of these Hall of Fame badges already, and he also has gold clamps. So functionally, he's the same card, because the only thing keeping him from being a meta card is that he doesn't have range extender, and he didn't get range extender. So the only reason he's a pink diamond, if we go right here, is because of the rebound stats. He's exactly the same card, but with the elite rebounding. So that's it. Your Meta Yu-Gi-Oh! Asked, can I show the stats and badges? Yeah, we can go back to it. I showed that early in the stream, but we can do it again. Why not? So he is like 99% the same card, but the reason he's a pink diamond is because his rebounding is like 40 to 50 points higher in both categories. That's what's pushing him to a pink diamond. So here are his badges. A lot of great badges. I mean, he already has a lot of these great badges. Some of them moved from gold to Hall of Fame. Clamps is not one of those badges, so he's not a better defender. Really, you know. I mean, he's a good defender already because he's 6'6" and whatever. But functionally, if you want this card, just get the diamond card. Like, unless the only difference is if you play triple threat, he's gonna, you know, rebound better for you. But again, I don't know why you would take a SHAI Gilgeous-Alexander card into triple threat over, you know, Kobe or Paul George or whatever. Like, you know, I mean, he's good. I'm not saying he's bad, but he's going for 200k MT, so I have to review the card in the context of a 200k MT card, you know. And would I want him in my lineup? Personally, I would not. You know, I'd rather play this Vince Carter card right here in my lineup at the 2 than play SHAI at the 2. And in terms of the 1 spot, I'd rather play Jason Terry and Lowry and run a, you know, a limitless range style. Or if I was going to pay a lot of MT for a card, I'm gonna just go all out and get the Ben Simmons if I'm just trying to go to the basket all day, you know. But he's not anything special. They just goosed his rebounding because of the night that he had last night. So if you like SHAI Gilgeous-Alexander as a player, or you like the diamond card, then maybe you'll want to play this card. But I would imagine if you have the diamond card, there's no logical reason you would want this card. This is an emotional pickup. He's a good card, but not a phenomenal card. And that's pretty much that. Yo, shout outs to everybody. No, he didn't get range or half clamps. Carson Cruz said he's sticking with CP3, B Diddy, and Diamond Shy. Yeah, 100%, dude. Yeah, like you wouldn't have any. He wouldn't have any advantage over the Diamond Shy. Like in Unlimited, he has no advantage over the Diamond card. Spack in the chat. Yo, shout outs to everybody watching the stream. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. I go in depth with cards and review stuff, and since y'all are all here, I'm just gonna do this quick dribble tutorial. So Anybody in the chat, is anybody in the chat having trouble with the behind the back from a standstill? Is anybody having trouble with that? Because a lot of people have been asking me about that dribble. And I don't have the hand cam here, but I think you can go online and get the hand cam from a lot of places. Like go to FlipZ is the #1 I'd recommend. Steezo has a tutorial. There's a million tutorials about how to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to explain why you guys might be messing it up. Right? And we're going to take it step by step real quick. Rumors are they're going to patch this out of the game. So I'm using Jim Jackson because I also want to just show what a great card this is. He doesn't have range extender, which again I would say puts him second or third tier, but he's going to be an excellent defender, and he is an excellent shooter. He just doesn't have range extender. He's going to get a 93-point shot. His shot's a little bit on the slow side, but he also has really great dunking animations, and he's got a really nice version of the behind the back dribble. He's got generally really good animations. His step back is also elite, which again makes it kind of a bummer that he doesn't have the range extender. But if he had range extender, I would put him up there with all of those guys, with like Kobe and Vince, and he'd be right in that group if he had range extender. He's not in that group, but if you're running a card like Jamal Wilkes or Michael Cooper, or if you're still running a Bruce Bowen, I think Jim Jackson is a step up, especially considering he's super cheap and his Evo is pretty easy. And worst case scenario, you can flip the card. Like I'm gonna sell this one when he's fully evoed. He's at Amethyst right now. But let's get into this behind the back dribble. So it's fairly simple. So the issue is most people are having trouble with their placement of the left stick, right? So you hold right trigger, which I'm doing right now. I'm holding right trigger. And then on the right stick, you press diagonal away from the ball hand. And if you do that without pressing the left stick at all, you're going to get this. All right? So now you're going to do that same thing. But what you're going to do is this animation, you're going to interrupt that animation by pressing forward. You're going to be pressing 11 o'clock, basically, right? So 11 o'clock. So you're going to do this, and then on the left stick, you're going to press 11 o'clock. And that'll give you the behind the back from a standstill. And then from this side, it's the same thing except you're pressing 2 o'clock, right? So on the right stick, you're pressing 5 o'clock. And on the left stick, you're pressing 2 o'clock. And you get the other way. So the other reason people have trouble with this dribble in a live scenario is because they're moving and they want to do it. But you can't do it off of a move, right? So I can't do it right here. So what you got to do is you got to stop your player from moving, either by snatching back behind the back down on the right stick. Tapping left trigger is another way. You can tap right on right stick, and these will all square your feet to set you up to do the dribble. And that's why guys have this kind of hippity hop kind of look when they're doing this dribble over and over again. Alright, so if you guys have any more questions about that dribble, let me know. But as you can see, Jim Jackson has a really nice version of it. Now when your stamina is down, the card might not do it because they might have taken too many stamina hits because it is a high stamina move. But that's basically the card. I mean that's basically the dribble. That's the behind the back from a standstill. And the other thing that's difficult about it is, depending on your angle from the basket, the right stick is absolute, but the left stick is relative to the basket, right? So if you're over here, you're pressing more like 9 o'clock. You're not pressing 11 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? And that can get a little tricky depending on the angle that the player is at. So it's easier when your character is more in these angles, because in these angles the left stick is always consistent. Yeah, so you just tap right stick. It's basically, so you have to be in a standstill settle. So again, any of these setup dribbles, whether it's these super slow size up dribbles that's tap up on the right stick, this will settle you. The between the legs will settle you. The behind the back will settle you. Tapping left trigger will settle you. The hezzy will settle you. Right? These will all settle you and set you up so that you can do the behind the back whenever you want. So, and that's it from there. Just settle yourself, and then make sure you hit those directions. As soon as his feet are set, you're good to go. And that's pretty much that. So hopefully you guys don't have any more trouble with the explosive behind the back. But keep in mind there are other. Yeah, the left stick is relative. The left stick is not an absolute. So when you go to these corners, you you have to practice doing that. Now the thing is, for me, the momentum is really good out of the corners. Like the momentum isn't as good from the middle because there's so much space you have to cover. But on the baseline, the momentum dribble is really strong because it gets you to this baseline drive really quickly. And the thing is, it's an actual legitimate mix-up because if they don't cover that, the drive here to the middle is very strong, and you can hop step out of that drive to the middle. So it's actually very difficult to guard card, and also most people play in 2K camp, so they can't see the cards and line them up like perfectly out of the. Did I pull SHAI? I'm not going for SHAI, Kyle. I'm not going for SHAI. I don't care about the card. He's just diamond SHAI with rebounding. Like that doesn't fit into my personal style of play or lineup. When it comes to big people at point guard, I'm waiting for LeBron James, or basically I don't care. All right, like when the LeBron James point guard card comes out, I will definitely sell out for that card and run it. But I don't care about these other tall cards because none of them have range extender, and none of them are elite at slashing to the basket. Right, like they're not elite at it. So, if they were elite at slashing to the basket, like a 6'6" Westbrook, then I might care more. But he's just solid going to the basket. Did they boost his dunking? His dunking is it's at 80. His dunking is an 80. Yeah. He's just if I recall correctly, his driving dunk is an 80. So yeah, so from this corner, I recommend the momentum dribble because the momentum dribble is more reliable than the behind the back. Like obviously, you can learn to do the behind the back from over here. It's just kind of tricky the way you have to think about it to do the behind the back momentum from the corner. It can obviously be done, but it's not as advantageous to me as the momentum from the corner because if you don't do the momentum from the corner, like the simple burst from the corner, you can hop step out of. So they have to respect it. Like people have to respect you just driving at this angle and hop stepping back in front of them. So because of that, I think these moments are it's pretty much a L like across the board. I think the only possibly good card, like the center is good. Who was the center? The center was okay, and it was Miles Turner. Miles Turner is solid, and Jokic is a good shooting center, but it's not. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even open these packs to be honest with you. Like I'm not interested in those packs at all. I'll just wait till next week. There's nothing in there that I really want. You see them Jim Jackson dunk animations? Yo, this card is a W. This is one of those cards that's just fun. Like I'm probably gonna use this card for a while because his animations is just slick. Like when you evo, he's definitely worth evoing because he flips for like 70K at the diamond level, and he only costs like between 1 and 3, depending on how much you're willing to wait for an auction or a buyout or a snipe or whatever. But you can get this card for 1K MT and flip him for 70K MT. He has a super easy evo. And yeah, as far as 3 and D cards go, he outclasses all of the early year 3 and D cards like Bruce Bowen. And even Jamal Wilkes, who I like a lot, he outclasses Jamal Wilkes as well. So I highly, highly, highly recommend this card. You see, yeah, he clamps up. Like his defense is crazy when you evo him all the way. Oh yeah. I forgot. Let me show this to you guys. I'm glad y'all are here for the stream. Let's see if I can do this right. So, like I said, I know the dribble moves, but I am not a dribble god by any stretch. I don't play in that style. But there's a really important thing that the dribble gods do. If they patch the behind the back, this Jim Jackson card is something that will make him really, really useful. Miles Turner over Vucevic? Yeah, Miles Turner has better defense. So if you do a momentum directly to the right, he has this glitchy spin move that a lot of cards don't have. Now, keep in mind, I don't use this move in my gameplay. Like, I don't do glitchy spin moves as a stylistic thing. But off of that, he can do the hard roll. Look up Steezo's video on how to do that hard roll. What you do is you momentum, and you want to go exactly to the right. And then from going to the right, there, you see how he walked backwards right there? All of these MyTeam cards can't do that. They can't all do that. So if you master that move, it's actually, I'm not going to say more effective than the behind the back, but it's a highly effective move. That's really, really hard to deal with because of the nature of the way they do it. But like I said, it's not something I practice. I will practice it if they patch the behind the back. I will definitely go to that move in terms of needing a change of direction move that like stops people. But this card can do that, and I would keep this card around just so that if you're playing triple threat online and they patch the behind the back move, you need an arsenal of dribble moves that gets you past the opponent. And the momentum behind the back, hopefully that's still in the game, but because I think this is a nice way to change direction to hit them with the momentum behind the back. Snatch back. That's a nice assortment of moves, and I'm not part of the crowd that wants every dribble move taken from people who know how to dribble. I just want people to have an ability to defend them. I think the screens is a bigger problem than the behind the back move. It's the fact that the screens suck you backwards through time and space to stop you from contesting at all. Jordan Coy says he's an OKC fan. It's cool to see Shai get more cards than Russell did in 2K19. I think because Russell was in NBA Live, like he was an NBA Live cover guy or showcase guy, that 2K is always like gonna do him a little bit dirty. Like if you notice in the trailers, they used to have him like getting dunked on and stuff. I think that's more about Live than it is about Westbrook. Although I do know that there are certain people at 2K that definitely hate Russell Westbrook. I'm not going to name names, but you can scroll through their timelines and see every time Westbrook does anything wrong, they're like all over him, more so than other players. So I do think there's a little bit of anti-Westbrook bias over at 2K that will manifest in a bunch of different ways. But that's pretty much it, guys. If y'all have any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm about to shut the stream down. I just wanted to get on top of this and show you guys that SHAI Gilgeous-Alexander card. If you're late to the stream, there's nothing to get excited about. He's Diamond SHAI Gilgeous-Alexander with heavily boosted rebounding stats. That's it. If that interests you, then by all means, take your 200k MT and get that card off of auction or pull packs with these terrible cards and pick them up. But my personal recommendation is don't worry about the pink diamond. If you like SHAI Gilgeous-Alexander and you want a 6'6 guard that plays defense and is decent at shooting and decent at going to the basket, get the diamond SHAI. Yeah, if you have the diamond SHAI, you're not missing out on anything. The best reason to pull that SHAI card is because he's going to be extremely inflated in value, at least until people figure out that he's just diamond SHAI with rebounding, a guard with rebounding. So, and that's cool. Rebounding is good. Thanks, Carson Cruz. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the sub. Appreciate everybody who watches and subs. You guys have been great. Been showing a lot of great support over the last few weeks as I've increased content and productivity. So I very much appreciate that, and it definitely encourages me to keep, giving you guys this content and going deeper dive into these cards because it's not. There he goes. He started to do it. It's that super glitchy turnaround. Because there's not a lot of people who go into these animations, but as a park player, animations are very, very important to me. We care about every single dribble move that cards have, and for me, it definitely makes or break a card whether or not they have a strong hezzy, a strong behind the back, a strong momentum cross, how quick they get into and out of animations, that step back. Look at his hippie to hop step back. That's incredible. When people are trying to pressure you. You can do that, go right into the behind the back, and he's an excellent slasher. This is an excellent card. Excellent card. Thanks so much, Jordan. I very much appreciate you, man. So, all right, guys, I'm going to sign out for now. I will be back on here talking about Evo Keith Van Horn as well, because I think that is a secretly pretty good card, and he's a very easy card to Evo and flip. So I do recommend that you guys, if you're looking for reasonably easy MT and you're doing those spotlights anyway, go ahead and Evo up that Keith Van Horn. He's a tall card with range extender and clamps, which is pretty much meta, But alright guys, I will see you on the next stream, and I will be having some gameplay for y'all soon as well. We'll be doing more gameplay on the squad also, but right now I am pretty busy with my regular job, so I'm focusing on going through these cards, acquiring what cards I can, and building up my team. So my focus is that Hakeem spotlight right now. All right, peace out. I will see you guys soon.